Hey everybody, today I'm going to be using the same kind of fathead dough recipe variation that I do, and I'm going to make us a pizza. I'm going to make it kind of deep dish. I don't really have a deep dish per se, but it's going to be a nice thick kind of Chicago style pizza. Alright guys, so this looks like a lot, but basically this is how I'm going to make my dough. I don't think I'm going to show the entire process this time. I did a process here with some garlic knots using the same exact recipe, so I'll put a link in the description in the video for that. But essentially, I'll do a quick rundown. I'm gonna do 2 cups of almond flour. I have a tablespoon of baking powder. I have a teaspoon of onion powder, 5 tablespoons of cream cheese. We're also gonna use 2 eggs, and then I'm gonna do 3 cups of mozzarella cheese. And you try to get the low moisture part skim. That's the best to use. That's essentially our bread and butter for this recipe. And I'm gonna use this for everything. So like I said, I'll put a link in the description for the garlic knots. You can see exactly how I make it. All right, real quick, I'm just gonna show you. So our cheese is basically done. I just keep microwaving this in every 30 to 60 second intervals. Get it nice and essentially doughy. So real quick, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our 2 eggs. I'm just gonna pour our 2 eggs in here. We're gonna mix it real quick, and then we're gonna pour in our flour mixture. And I just kind of fold and knead this in. All right, so I add a little bit of extra almond dough on my hands so we don't get too sticky when forming this. Basically, you just want to keep rolling it and kneading it, and then we're gonna try to form a pie. You can go ahead and make a nice loaf of bread if you wanted to do it this way, but we'll save that for another video. All right, so basically I've gotten this all done out, and I like to take it a step further. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of round our edges here. I'm gonna kind of fold them inward, but we're not going to keep them this way, but I'm just getting a little bit of an edge here. And now I will show you the next step. So I take 4 pieces of string cheese, and I slice them right down the middle, and we create 8. And then we just try to make our lip around it, because we're going to make essentially a stuffed crust pizza. Alright, so now that this is basically formed the best, I mean, we could probably make it a little bit better, but this is fine. So we use our remaining egg, and we're just gonna wash this entire pie. Alright, now that it's washed, what I like to do at this point is you can kind of like flavor up your own crust, you know? So I'm gonna just use some garlic powder and sprinkle my crust. Now I just kind of go ahead and brush that garlic all around so we get a nice even flavor. All right, now before we put it in the oven, I like to just kind of smear and smooth around our crust. Try to make it as round as possible and even. You really don't want any kind of clumps in here. And it's relatively easy with this egg wash, so it's super smooth. You're just gonna kind of glide around your edges and round out. You can use like the sides of your pinky fingers to like get a nice circumference while keeping your crust folded, because that's where our string cheese is at. Perfect. All right, so now that our pie is basically formed, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the oven, 350 degrees, roughly 20 to 30 minutes. We're just cooking the crust right now. We're gonna get it kind of a nice golden hue, brownish hue, and then we're gonna take it out and let it cool. All right, so I use a tube of sausage, and I'm just gonna go ahead and break this down. And then if you'd like, you can go ahead and season the sausage with whatever you want. Maybe a little salt, a little pepper. Next, I chopped up about 7 or 8 mushrooms. We're gonna go ahead and get these ready. Next, I'm just gonna go ahead and mince up about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna chop these down. Sprinkle some small salt on them. All right, so I chopped up and minced 3 or 4 cloves of garlic and just a little bit of some shallots, and I'm gonna mix all of this into our sausage before we cook it. All right, so this is basically the consistency that we're looking for, about 15 minutes in the oven. Now I'm gonna go ahead and sauce this, and we're gonna top it. All right, so next I'm gonna go ahead and I use a hot cast iron skillet with a little bit of olive oil. And I start browning up this sausage with the garlic and shallots. All right, while the sausage is going on, I like to go ahead and we sauce, and then we cheese, and we top. So I'm gonna just do some more mozzarella. I think that's good enough for right now. And then we're gonna go ahead and top with some pepperoni and our mushrooms. All right, so I end up using 16 pepperonis. So it's just evenly dispersed. And I probably won't use all of these mushrooms. All right, so now we got our mushrooms, pepperoni set. Now we're gonna take our sausage. It's pretty hot still, but I'm just gonna do little scoops and just sprinkle it. And again, I'm not gonna use all of the sausage either. We're gonna save this for maybe like some breakfast, or anything else. So you might have some leftovers here. All right, so next we're gonna do a little bit of Monterey Jack and our mozzarella. We're gonna do just a little bit of a mix. So I'm gonna do a little bit more cheese on top. Quick note, I totally forgot to mention, when the pizza's ready to go back into the oven, we're gonna go ahead and cook it again. We'll keep it at 350 degrees. I like to cook it for about 20 or 30 minutes. You may wanna cook it a little bit longer depending on the thickness of your pan and your pie, but essentially an extra 10 minutes after wouldn't hurt. All right, pizza is done. So we got a nice golden brown crust. Our cheese is fully melted in there. It's very hot. So we're gonna let this cool for a few minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and slice it up. All right, guys, there we have it. Pizza's done, ready to go. Now, like I said, keep in mind this is kind of like a treat meal. It's not necessarily a cheat by any stretch, but each slice is about 7 to 8 grams of net carbs, so it's a little carb heavy. I definitely wouldn't recommend eating the whole pizza. All right, guys, so once again, thanks for watching. You guys give me a like, subscribe, bell notification, comment. If there's any other kind of foods you guys are thinking maybe I should try to cook, leave a message in the comments and let me know. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. All right, this man is not keto at all. Look, he's skin and bones. Try this pizza. No, this is all keto. It's good.